flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Prayer for today. Heavenly Father, thank you for the blessing of our beautiful county and for all those who live here, work here, and serve here. As we begin this meeting, grant us wisdom, patience, and good judgment in the work before us. We pray especially for the victims of the tragic car accident in Troy Township this weekend and for their families and their loved ones. We also lift up the Russell family as they mourn the loss of their beloved father and lay him to rest today. Please comfort these families, surround them with your love, and grant them peace and strength during these times of sorrow. In your Son's holy name, we pray.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to begin with public comment. If you intend to make a public comment concerning an agenda item, please sign the list that was back. You'll be given 3 minutes and wait to be called upon. And please, as a reminder, refrain from disorderly conduct. Anyone wishing to make public comment on an agenda item today?
No one was signed in? No. Okay. Very good.
Okay, item number 2, as the Acton County Administrator, I took action for the Department of Water. I approved the hiring of Wyatt Nottingham to the position of maintenance worker, job number 2330, to be effective August 17, 2026 at the rate of $23.26 per hour with a 1-year probationary period. This offer of employment is contingent upon the successful completion of the required pre-employment conditions.
That was it?
That's it.
All right. I'll move to approve the minutes for the meeting of March 17th, 2026.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Commissioner Spitaleri.
Aye.
Commissioner Brady.
Aye. Motion carries.
Morning, Commissioners. Adrian Gorton with the Commissioner's Office. So today's financials include an appropriations transfer to the Sheriff for miscellaneous refunds, reimbursements, and web checks that were deposited into the general fund. There's also a supplemental from the Commissioner's Office in our Building Improvement Fund for the Hill Projects account in order to certify a contract. There's a cash transfer from the general fund to Court Technology for a portion of their 2026 funding. Among the encumbrances is a purchase order from the Commissioners to Lake Geauga Recovery Centers using the Opioid Settlement Fund for assistance on the purchase of a recovery house. There's also a travel encumbrance from the Engineer's Office to attend the County Engineers Association of Ohio GIS Conference in Columbus, Ohio. Among the vouchers is $202,973.07 from ADP to CDW Government Incorporated for the county's CrowdStrike Computer Endpoint User Protection Services renewal, which we paid $190,596.46 last year for. There's also $470,074.04 from the Commissioners to Infinity Construction Company for pay requests number 36 and 37 of the Courthouse Expansion Project, and $157,742.96 from maintenance to VL Chapman Electric Incorporated for payment application number 3 for the West Geauga Senior Center project, the generator project.
I move to approve the financials.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for a vote.
Commissioner Spitaleri.
Aye.
Commissioner Brady.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Motion carries. Sheriff's Office. Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Scott Hildenbrand, Tom Rowland from the Sheriff's Office. Got 4 vehicles that we'd like to sell to Trumbull County. The first one is a little cheaper than the other ones. It's 2016, but when the sheriff came out and looked at it, the rear tailgate's pretty much rusted through. He's gonna have to replace it, so we dickered back and forth, and we thought that was a fair price for him. So the other ones, the two, 2017 and the 2019. The 2019 has a little bit more miles than the other ones, so we already sold 4, I think, to Ashtabula City this year. This has taken a long time. This has been in the works for months, but Trumbull County is not as efficient as Geauga County in getting the work done. So here we are.
All right, very good. Christy, do we update these resolutions?
I did.
Okay.
All of them are updated, correct order, made sure that Morgan was removed, and yes, they are ready
Yeah,
to
I think
go.
there was just like a hanging
Yes,
county from when the
Correct.
resolution was maybe done before. So it's all updated now to say Trumbull.
correct.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Gina Hofstetter, Community and Economic Development. I have item number 9 on the agenda today. The Community and Economic Development Department is requesting the board grant permission to advertise for bids for the Chardon Township Park walking path to be held on Wednesday, August 26, 2026 at 2 p.m. Notice of this bid opening will be advertised on August 13th, 2026 and on the county website.
And when are you expecting work to begin on?
Well, we have to award it within 60 days of bidding, so on the 26th, we'll open bids, and then we'll kind of see what happens. So they're anxious to get started.
Yeah, I know, that's why I asked.
And hopefully, the weather holds out, and the opportunity allows us to get it done this year, so.
Okay. And then what's the status of the Burton Library project?
They'll be next out for bid.
Okay, very good. I'll move to approve item number 9.
They're going to have about a 6-month turnaround time on parts for that.
Oh, right,
So
'cause
in
it's an
order for us to
elevator.
make deadline, yeah, we definitely want to bid that this year.
I feel like the elevator business is a good one to be on. It's a
For
very-
sure.
Very few.
There's only 2 elevators
players.
in the village of Burton. One was the old inn and the Burton Library, so, yeah. All set?
Yep, all done
Nope.
for me. Any further discussion, Commissioner?
Nope.
Call for a vote.
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye. Motion
Thank
carries.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Craig Swenson from Geauga JFS.
and I'm Tracy Olzawi, the Division Director of Child Support under Job and Family Services. I'm here today for the approval of our annual child support 4D contracts with the Prosecutor's Office for Legal Services and Common Pleas Court for Magistrate Services. These contracts are allowable under Title 4D of the Social Security Act, and they permit us to pay for the work the Prosecutor's Office and magistrates do and complete on behalf of the child support program here in Geauga County. The contracts do allow us to bring money into the county for the child support work completed, and we are reimbursed 66% through federal funds.
All right, very good. Anything to add, Craig? That was
I
it.
think she pretty much
Okay.
sealed the deal. I'm here to support her, but one thing I do want to say is our child support division under Tracy's leadership has regularly been recognized, if not one of the top child support agency for our size from the state. We get those certificates every year. They are a very nice group of ladies, but I would not want to owe them any money. That's all I have to say. They're very tough.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 10 and 11.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call for a vote.
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Have a
the
good day.
support.
Morning. Charles Tikach, Maintenance Department. I have item number 12 on the agenda. It is for the engineering to expand the parking lot here at GCOB. The Maintenance Department is requesting the board approve and execute the owner-engineer agreement with Verdantis LLC for professional design and contract administration services to expand the Geauga County Office Building parking lot in an amount not to exceed $49,000. That's $44,000 as the base quote and $5,000 of owner's contingency.
So I think if this would have come before me a year ago, I would say, oh, obviously, we have to expand this parking lot. But having gone through a gubernatorial primary, and I know Mark and Amy worked on a parking plan so that county vehicles were shifted and employees had to park different places. I mean, anytime I came to the building during that time, there was a lot of parking. And so I question if we still need this. I mean, I know that part of it is also for the BMV
Correct.
and their maneuverability course or whatever it was called. But
Yes.
but I do question if this is something that we still need and what other options there are available. I mean, and I guess maybe my threshold question is I know this is what it's going to cost just for this slice of the pie, just for the engineering. What are we looking at for the whole project as far as actually implementing the parking lot?
Right, you're probably looking at around 400,000,
Okay,
somewhere around there.
okay. So I guess from there, are we sure we need this, I guess is my question.
Well, that has been a question that has been debated for probably the last 6 months. That
Okay.
is one of the reasons why this has been delayed for so long.
Okay, interesting.
We had waited for the past elections to see if we had the need. It was my understanding that we felt that there was still a need. But
Okay.
I don't know who has made that determination.
Okay, understood. Yeah, I mean, part of the reason why I bring this up is I know the city of Chardon just did a parking study, and I don't know if you were, paid attention to that at all, but I thought it was very interesting because people always complain there's not enough parking in Chardon. And Ben Young, the city manager, walked around Chardon Square for months on end at different times of day, different days of the week, and just figured out how many empty spots there are, how many used spots there are. And what he realized was that there was plenty of parking, it just wasn't always in the places people wanted to park, and they were able to shift some of their parking that they use, and it seems like it's going to be a better situation now for everybody. So I wonder to what extent we're kind of in the same ballpark that maybe we don't really need to spend. I mean, 400,000 plus about 50,000 for engineering for what will be, I believe, 60 to 100 spots. It was estimated, and they'll be used maybe once every 4 years when there's a presidential election.
Those are the facts, yes.
Okay. I don't know, Commissioner Spitaleri, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary right now.
Yeah, I mean, I would be, to the extent we have a study or, some more data to indicate that we need this, but, because it's not, as you know, in the maintenance department, it's not just about putting in a parking lot, it's also about plowing that parking lot and resurfacing that parking lot and all the maintenance costs that come along with that.
Right, I know that we raised the same questions after the last election. We felt there was a lot of parking there.
Yeah. Okay.
But we haven't gone through a presidential eletion, but yes. There was,
Understood. My observation though for the presidential election was, as someone that was on the ballot at that time, was that it was the busiest on the weekend, and this parking lot's not very busy on the weekend because all the employees are not here.
Agreed.
Other than the Board of Elections employees. So yeah, I just question if this is something we still need. If there's, you said that there was a I don't know, passive voice, somebody wanted this.
Yeah.
If they want to come before us and talk about it or provide that information, I'm certainly willing to hear it.
We do not have any compelling data to say that is absolutely needed, based on what we observed.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your honesty. And I know a lot of work went into teeing this up, so.
I think if you're gonna put money into something, I would say put money into that entrance way with that swing out there,
Yeah.
I think that would be better served if everyday people, are going in there and near misses every day, so.
Right.
Yeah, and that's when it's not even like icy outside.
Right, I mean, we could look at revamping the project to just be the driving course and perhaps reworking that entrance.
Yeah, because that.
So that could be something that we
I
could
don't know
look
if
at.
there has been accidents there or not, but it's quite the, turn there and the way that that's designed. I just think even if somebody's a first timer coming in, it raises some question, but as far as parking, I never really saw them having a major issue during the voting, but that up there is definitely an issue.
Yeah, maybe that's something that's worth
Okay.
looking. I mean,
Sure.
I agree. I think that turn is so sharp coming in, and it feels like when people are going around it, they're crossing that, invisible middle line.
Right,
So I do wonder if there's a better way that could be done.
okay.
And what's the relationship with the BMV as far, I mean, they need this maneuverability course. Do we know anything about that?
My understanding was this is the only primary office they have that does not have its own course where they can take folks out and do the test right there.
Okay, interesting. All right, so, I guess we don't need a motion on this, it sounds like, Commissioner, correct? We don't need to.
So will they still be able to figure out though, because I think where they used to be in Chardon, if my memory serves me right, on the south end of that plaza, there used to be an area where they used to park, if I'm not mistaken. Sheriff, am I right about that? So as far as for that, is it something that we would have to have this to be able to get them some testing areas?
I'm not sure. I would have to do some research on
Because I
that.
think that's all based on dimensions of measurements and stuff of what that is, but
Yeah, I do have the dimensions. They were worked into the original layout that we had for this parking lot. So I have the space that they would need in order to do that. And it's probably, I'd say a fourth or a third of the size of the parking lot that we were proposing. So it would be, much smaller space.
because I guess if we could look into that, maybe to see if we could provide that, it's part of their testing, right? So they
Right.
need to have that, so.
And they wanted to be able to just go right outside and test as
Yeah.
opposed to, have to go to a different location.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I think what Chuck's proposing is he reworks this to just look at the maneuverability course. Is that what it was called? Am I
Yes,
making that name up?
maneuverability
Okay.
course, that's correct,
That's what I had in my head, and I'm like, that sounds stupid when I'm saying that out loud. But to do that and maybe look at that entrance, that
Sure.
one entranceway that's curving.
We can do that and come back, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess the other question is, since this is for engineering, is the idea they figure out where the layout should be and the drainage, and why do we need, I guess, tell a taxpayer why you need an engineer involved in this project and not just hire an asphalt contractor directly?
Right. Well, if you look at the space that we were proposing, it is it's a culvert, basically, that goes, has quite a bit of depth to it. So it was going to take a significant amount of fill
Okay,
in order
that's
to
what I was
build that up,
Yeah.
and we had to stay away from the existing wells that are on the property as well, too.
Okay.
So there was engineering to do all the drainage, so it drained away from the well
Yeah.
space and went over to the pond that's on the north side of the
Yep.
parking lot.
Okay, very good. All right. So you don't need any more direction from us?
No,
Okay.
I think I understand.
Very good, thank you. Do you need
So we're
any-
gonna pull it.
What's that?
You're gonna pull the item then?
Yeah,
Okay.
do you want us to formally table it?
I wouldn't
No.
necessarily say that we're gonna table it because,
Yeah, we're not gonna vote on it again. We could vote on it and vote no. But, okay, we'll just hold it.
Okay, thank you.
thanks.
Thanks, Jack.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Ed.
Next item for the Water Resources is requesting the board approve and authorize Commissioner Spitaleri to execute the OWDA fund payment request number 17 for the McFarland wastewater treatment plant improvement project for technical services by HDR Engineering Incorporated for $39,987.84. The request has been reviewed by the department and approved. This is for the on-site full-time inspection services and construction management that HDR is providing for the McFarland project.
All right, I'll move to approve item number 13.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Commissioner Spitaleri.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Motion carries.
The next item on the agenda is requesting the board approve and authorize
Vice President.
the Vice President of the Board to execute the easement between the Board of County Commissioners and the Ohio Department of Transportation on permanent parcel 26-705400, the location of the Surrey Downs wastewater treatment plant for highway purposes and the supporting Ohio Office of Budget and Management payee information form, and further request that upon receipt of the agreed upon sum of $3,150 for compensation of said easement, transfer the agreed upon sum to the Department of Water Resources to be used for maintenance and operations on the referenced property. If you recall, this is the parcel on 87 in Russell Township off Surrey Downs where there will be, ODOT is looking to do bridge work in the next year. It's expanding, basically connecting two ports of their SH easement that they have. I'm not sure why it wasn't originally taken when it was done. It would have been a straight line. It grants them access to be able to perform the work they need to do. In turn, we still own the property. We still have, and then the easement dollars would go to be used for maintenance around the wastewater treatment plant that is there. More specifically, it would probably be used to clear the fence line around the plant to ensure the longevity of that fence, but it'll cover a portion of that cost. Standard, we wouldn't be using this property anyways because it's in the creek, so.
I'll move to approve number 14 with the Vice President as the authorized agent.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Commissioner Spitaleri.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Just a really quick, as you drove in, you saw the Merritt Road sanitary sewer extension project going along. It's going pretty smooth. A little minor hiccup on the bore underneath Ravenwood. We ran into a rock in the middle of it, so we had to adjust some grades. But other than that, honestly, they'll be cleaned up and out of here by the end of this week. So,
Oh, great.
so thank you for that.
Thank you. Who's got 15?
The Commissioner's Office is requesting the board schedule a special meeting on Monday, August 17th, 2026 at 2:30 p.m. That will be held concurrently with the Geauga County Budget Commission to be held in the Auditor's Appraisal Conference Room located at 231 Main Street in Chardon.
And all the commissioners are able to attend?
That's my understanding.
Okay, very good. I'll move to approve number 15.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Spitaleri.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye. Motion carries.
Administrator has no issues, topics for discussion, or any issues from the board.
I just wondered where things stood with the treasurer's office discussion. I know Commissioner Spitaleri said you'd meet with the treasurer's staff. Has that progressed at all?
Yeah, I reached out to Caroline on Friday. Had received a letter from the
Yeah.
employees there, was somewhat disappointed with that. There's obviously some major communication breakdowns in that office that I was, taken back by the fact that I think that we had a good discussion on Tuesday at the meeting with the treasurer and the deputy, and and I made the attempts to try to want to rectify that and try to get to a point of a common ground. And then on Wednesday, received a letter from the employees, contacted Caroline on Friday, and she had no awareness that letter had even been sent. So it just seems like there's some concern as far as the communication in that agency, in that department. And I after looking at and seeing that approach, it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth as far as trying to be able to work one-on-one with them, and I responded back yesterday morning with the letter to the treasurer, and copied Caroline, I copied you, Mark, and also Amy, that expressing my concerns with a lot of the different things, that have come up in discussions that I've had with some people. I know that it took a life of its own on through social media, with a lot of residents, not supporting that type of aggressive change. And, I basically sent them a letter stating that my position on this would be no more than a 5% increase in addition to the 3% that that was given to the employees already this year that was approved, which would give them a total of 8%. So that was my position. That's where I'm going to stand. And, I think that there was a lot of concerns as far as was never requested at the budget hearings, meetings this year. And then to come in with those kind of numbers, I don't feel that it's fair to the commissioner's office and the commissioners to be put in a position to do this cleanup of salaries when that should have been monitored by probably the elected official of that office and watched if it was that bad. It didn't get bad like that last week, right? It got bad over time, and I think that should have been monitored and brought to our attention a little bit better. And I could tell you in the letter, I specifically stated, I started in 12 here, and every year we gave raises. The only year that we didn't give raises was during the COVID, and I'm not sure, I'd have to go back and look if it was 1 year or 2 years that, the sky was falling and we didn't know what was going to happen, and we backed off of that. But then we made it right shortly after that, where we committed a 3-year pay increase, 3-year, which included also either 1 or 2 5% amounts that tried to catch up for those years that we hadn't done the raises, so that it would have been reasonable for us to still put them back in a position of making up for some of those years. I can honestly tell you, my situation is, somebody gets hired today, they should be hired within a reasonable rate of what, the going rate should be. We've maintained that all the time of saying, okay, another 3%, another 3%, another 3%. So if you look over the course of, almost 13 or 14 years that I've been here, you multiply that times 3%, that's a 35% change from the time that I, started here to now, of handing out increases to these various, departments, and I just feel that we try our best, and I could tell you that there's many counties out there that have given nothing. And I also stated in the letter that sometimes I think the big thing in the county government that's missed is that there's a lot of other benefits to having a county position, and you have sick time, 15 paid days off a year. You don't get that in the private world. The other thing is the pension system, completely separate pension system that still allows people to have, which a lot of them opt to have, outside employment above and beyond, so that they reach time, they actually have two pensions, a Social Security pension and a PERS pension. The other thing is the days off, 15, anywhere between 12 to 15 holidays a year, not counting the vacation time that's given, and the days that we give as commissioners, like the day after Thanksgiving, the day before Christmas if it falls on a certain time, certain time of the week. So we've tried to extend a lot of that in the real world. It just, on the private side, that doesn't happen. But the other thing that is missed many times is the medical benefits that we have. I mean, so many employees come up to me and always, thank us for the ability of having medical benefits for them and their families, that in the private world, there's, they would only wish and hope to have some of the coverages that we have. So I guess, the reality is I think we sometimes don't do as good of a job selling some of those other things that are taken for granted. And I'm not saying that justifies a rate change or not, but when this thing came out, I heard from a number of people, some people even in the financial banking world, where you look at what some of the people that work in financial institutions, in banks every day that handle the money that was stated in that meeting, handle this a whole lot more on an everyday basis, that they handle, hundreds of thousands of dollars, but are making quite a bit less than where they're at right now. And I'm not saying that that's good or bad. What I'm saying is that let's just call it what it is. And sometimes honesty is not what somebody wants to hear, but that's just the truth of the matter is let's really compare some of those things. And I stressed all those in my letter to the treasurer, to the deputy. Have not heard anything back, and I had thought that they were going to be here today, and obviously they are not here. But that's my position. That's where I'm going to stand, and that's my explanation of it.
Okay, so as far as where things stand, you feel like it's in the treasurer's court right now? Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't something we needed to do on our end. Okay, yeah. Adrian has a different opinion. Go ahead, Adrian.
I just want to know, you mentioned 5%, Commissioner Spitaleri. Would you and Commissioner Brakey be in favor of me making calculations to supplement their payroll accounts another 5% and then just leave the distribution of that up to the treasurer for his employees? Or do you want me to just leave things the way they are right now?
I think I'm in favor of leaving things the way they are right now, and let's continue the conversation. But I mean, I agree with you, Commissioner Spitaleri. I was off-put by the letter as well from the employees. That being said, I did think they advocated for themselves quite well, and frankly better than the other arguments that we had heard. But it still felt rather inappropriate to me.
We'll stay in contact with the treasurer's office. I know in light of the last session, they're doing some research and looking into some of the questions that you posed.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely give them an opportunity to come back when they're ready.
Okay. All right, very good. Public comment?
Okay, that concludes our agenda items. Finishing off with public comment. I remind everyone to refrain from disorderly conduct, and you'll be given 3 minutes.
Go ahead, Mr. Howard.
Howard, South Russell Village. What's been done about the pedestrian safety for the people at the fair? Have any of the programs met? Are they going to have a crossing guard at the Roniak entrance? What's going to happen the 4 days that we're going to be there? The older people and the people on wheelchairs come on usually Thursday and Friday. What's going to be done for them? There's been no answer so far from the sheriff or from anybody, but it has to be done because people like myself and other older people, plus the kids coming down on weekends, walk up and down that street, and they park up at the old Berkshire High School, and it's unsafe for them to come down. There are no white lines drawn on the road. When are the white lines going to be drawn on the road? When are this little signs going to be in the front? The little island's going to be in front like they are up in Burton Village. Nobody answers that.
So Howard, I believe, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe the sheriff could answer this, but, you know, so many years of going to the fair, there's usually a law enforcement officer at that crossing that guides people across, stops traffic, and you know, renders it safe. And in that situation there, you know, do we really need to have white lines on the road to confuse people throughout the rest of the year? If we've got a law enforcement officer there, you know, directing things that should supersede the lines and be able to cross people safely. So I've seen it multiple times, and Sheriff, correct me if I'm wrong, there's an officer at that location. It's right by the entry post that the sheriffs have you know, like a little substation there to come in, and they monitor that post. There's always I've seen deputies there all the time. So I don't know if the white lines is really a necessary thing to only confuse people more throughout the rest of the year, but the officers are there working that, and I don't know. Maybe I'm not hitting your question exactly or understanding it totally, but my experience has been is that, you know, there has been law enforcement there. As far as us being able to fail-proof the safety of everybody, you know, and guarantee that there's never going to be a crash is an impossible thing, because you can only control what you could control, and things happen. And you know, I think that when you look at the thousands upon thousands of people that have come through our fairs over the years, our law enforcement has done an incredible job of managing crowds, managing pedestrian traffic, and I just think that I just don't. I'm not going to say I don't agree with you, Howard, but I think that it's one of those things that I know you brought it up last week, but I just think that it's handled. Sure.
Go ahead, Sheriff.
The bottom line is that the Fair Board's not going to spend a lot of money and time over it, because they provide free parking, handicap parking, where you don't have to cross the road and you're close to the gate. So the Fair Board has done their part in providing that parking, free parking, handicap parking, close to the gate. So if you elect to park someplace else and pay to park someplace else, it's very difficult right there where we're talking about. It's right across from a driveway. You can't put a crosswalk in the middle of a driveway for Roniak paving. I mean, that's a business. And it's the driveway for the fair, obviously. So the Fair Board, and I'm not speaking for them, but they have provided a safe way to get into the fair that doesn't cost anything. So we obviously monitor that and look, because we know people do park over there, and I have personally escorted people across that road to provide for the safety. Of course, safety is our concern, but as far as pushing out, like I said, we talked to the Fair Board. We're going to try to get some cones out there, at least slow people down, whatever, but the safe parking is best if you do it in the handicap spot and the free parking.
Okay, very good. Anything else, Mark?
Nothing further.
Christie?
Oh, she has one. All right.
I have one.
Who's responsible? Who's responsible for the pedestrians outside the fair, on the fair?
Mr. Hart, sorry, your time is up, sir. Go ahead, Christie.
Well, Ralph used up most of my time.
So I get blamed now.
Can I speak a little bit?
You're asking who's responsible for the pedestrians
Who's
outside?
responsible for I park across the street at the big tree. It's a private spot. Parked there for the last 10, 12 years. And then I have to walk up and walk across at the Roniak. Periodically, there is a sheriff's deputy there to help out, but the rest of the week, there's nobody there. And the people park up and down that road. It's all private parking, but they do a good job. There is a sidewalk there to help out. But who's responsible?
I think the answer, Howard, is you are. That's the easiest way for me to tell you. If you choose to park there, You choose to decide that. Fair Board has given you options of being able to park where you could park. You choose to park there, then I think that it's real simple. You're responsible.
Okay, sorry, we have to
So-
move on. Go ahead,
Who's
Christie.
responsible for the kids?
Mr. Howard, your time is up.
Hospital?
Mr. Howard, your time is up. Look, if you want to have some offline conversations once the meeting is over, we can do that, okay? Thank you. Christie, go ahead with your option.
I just have a request to ask the board to approve for County Administrator Amy Bevan up to 80 hours of unpaid personal leave during the period of August 10, 2026 through December 31st, 2026.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Spitaleri?
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey?
Aye. All right, anything else?
That is all I have.
You got anything, Commissioner? All right, I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.